All right, guys. It occurred to me, this is the LZ Garage. It occurred to me that I've never actually showed any of you guys how to actually sort of build a garage design in Home Designer. And then you new guys to the channel who were following this because you're sort of interested in Adam's Garage and how we're going to build it. I'll sort of show you how to do this. It's really, really simple. You just have to buy the software. So this software is called Home Designer, and I have the suite. So if you go to homedesignersoftware.com, and then if you look at products, you want the suite, which is $100. And so you could probably do essentials or interiors, but I wanted the whole suite. I didn't need the architectural professional version. Then you really have to spend some time learning the software. I really haven't taken or put too much effort into learning this software. It's really pretty easy. I was using Google SketchUp, but I found that a lot more difficult to use than this stuff. So this software is pretty legit. So I'm going to show you sort of briefly how to do this. So how we would create, or how you could create, a sort of full view or a full sort of mock-up of a garage. Now, granted, it doesn't look exactly like this house, but mainly the view that I'm most interested in is this one, so I can sort of really get an idea of how much room do I have when the cars are in the garage. So this would be sort of the size of his 335, the Mini, and then the 240. So I can sort of get an idea of how much room do I have to walk around, and what would the cabinets do to the structure and all that. So I'll probably make this a multi-part series to sort of show you how to do this. So we'll start with the structure, and then I'll come back and show you how to make the cabinets. And I actually have to adjust this a little bit because we're not going to put a TV in his garage. He doesn't really care about that. So I'm going to take you through sort of right next to this design. I'm going to sort of build it here for you and show you how to do this. It's really, really easy and really, really cool. It's a cool software tool to have, so that way if you're ever doing any sort of home improvement project or need to know sort of what something looks like, you can sort of draw it to scale here pretty easily, and not have to worry about hiring an architect or anything like that. So to start, we'll do we'll start the exterior wall, and his garage is 22.5 by 30.5 interior dimension. So we'll come down here and draw the exterior wall, and let's see, so where was I at here? I'm at 23.8, so we'll just kind of rough it in here, and then we'll come back and we can adjust the dimension, adjust the measurement. And then it was 30.5 wide. Come over here and we'll make it, say, 31-ish. And the weird thing about this, to zoom or to zoom out, you have to sort of come on the opposite side, and then I'm just sort of pinching my fingers together on my MacBook Pro. So we'll come down here. Actually, we'll do this wall last. So let's undo that because we have this little bump out here. So then we come across, same thing, 30-ish feet, and then this will bring it in. So we'll do this. So what I always do is just sort of rough it in real quickly, and then come back and make the the sort of proper dimensions. Software does a good job. You don't have to click exactly. And so go back to my pointer, and I forget the exact dimension of this. It was something like 7 or 8 feet. So all we have to do is, let's see, just grab this, bring it down this way, and see the software does all the sort of calculating for you. I never actually took a dimension of this. It really doesn't matter for our design, as long as I have the interior dimensions correct. So look, I'm at 31.5, so I'm 31.5/8, which is bigger than the garage actually is. So let's bring this whole wall. Actually, it'd be a lot easier to just bring this whole wall over to get a proper 31.5 or 30.5 foot dimension. And again, I'm not concerned about exact sort of eighths. What you could do is just sort of double click on this wall and then make the dimension exact. Again, I'm not too concerned about that. So Now we're a little too deep here, so I need to bring this in because we want 22.5 roughly. And sometimes if you can't get it exact, then you just zoom in so that it makes it a little bit tighter or not. Keep snapping back to the 20. All right, that's close enough. So we get the idea. So let's go over here and let's center this up. I'm sure there's some sort of center snap that we could use, but I just don't know how to do it. And if I wasn't sort of doing this with you guys here, then I would make this a little bit more exact. So let's go and let's add our interior dimensions. So let's do auto interior dimensions so we kind of know what's up. And I shrunk it a little too much. So there's 22.5. And then this is 30.5. So it came in a little too far. That must have been a dimension off of this. So there we go, 30 and 6 1/8. All right, so we have the structure drawn. So now let's put the doors in. So the doors are here. Oops, sorry, that's the railing. The doors are here. So let's put a hinge door. So there's a hinge door that opens to the interior, roughly here. And then there is there's obviously a garage door, and there's one here. If I had the garage here in front of me, I would probably get the tape measure out and make it exact. But again, this is already existing. We really don't have to worry about it. Here's what I'm going to do. So I double click, and the height of the door is 8 feet, which of course we already had there. And then the width of the door is 18 feet. And so there's the door. Now there's some significant space over, so it's more like this. And then I think the other door was like a 9-foot wide door or something like that. Maybe it's only 8 feet wide because there was certainly more space than this. Let me look at what I did on this one. Yeah, I think it's an 8-foot door because he has some space here and here. So actually, I probably want to get those exact dimensions at some point, just so I have it. But we're kind of working through this here, and the main thing I want to see is the sort of the structure and how it looks, and how the cars are going to fit in the garage. And so now we have the sort of the exterior. Let's add the windows. So let me come back, zoom back in, zoom out. We'll zoom back in here. Again, it takes a little getting used to what's zooming what. So you have to go to the opposite of where you want it to be. All right, so let's get rid of this interior dimension. It's just too much. Don't need 2 of those. So new audio interior dimension, we know we don't need 2 sets of dimensions in here. I think this is about 2 or 3 feet deep. Again, it's not imperative. I'll get measurements for this next time I'm out. But as long as we're close, we need to sort of rough it in for the flooring. This is 760 square feet, so it gives us an idea of how many square feet of flooring we'll need, which is important, because we're going to do the Swiss Trax flooring in here. And so let's add the window. So window here, boom, and it's a double hung window like this. And then what I normally do to get the window sizing, it's easier to look if you look at this, the full camera view. So check out how cool this is. So I can actually view the interior of the structure. Boom. And then I can work from here and sort of make the window. Again, I didn't measure the window, but I know it goes pretty much all the way up. Above 70, and bring them out a little bit. bring this over a little bit. What did I make this? 38. So there's our window. I probably want to bring this and center it up a little bit. Cool. So we've got our windows, so we could just get an idea of what that looks like. So we can close out that view. So we got our windows, we got our doors. So if you want to take a look at sort of what the exterior looks like, just to sort of get a feel for how our design is coming. We got two garages next to each other. And then you also have the really cool sort of full, you can do a dollhouse view as well, which shows the structure with the roof cut off. So again, we're working on building. So let's zoom out over here. So it gets a little tricky. Get it in the right spot. So you can kind of see where we're at. I don't know why it defaults to this weird looking stuff. And so you can see that took us all of what, a few minutes to do. So we have the doors, we have the windows, we have sort of the main structure set up. The other thing you'll want to do usually to make sure that we're the scale looks proper when we do the interior view is you double click, just sort of double click on the interior, and then we want to change the structure. And he has 10-foot ceilings, so the finished ceiling is 10.5 feet. Just click off of it. Boom. So now we have the proper height. It auto fits the roof. Again, I don't really care about the roof design as much on this because I just want to sort of design the interior. But I could, if I had a gable style roof, you can sort of click on the walls and adjust how the roof line looks. But I'm not going to worry about that right now for this video. Just keep it simple. So then there's a hot water heater in the corner. So I have my library browser open. Maybe it's just water heater. Somebody yelled at me about calling it a hot water heater. That makes sense. So let's just call it this. And we'll put that in the corner. Boom. So there's our water heater. And then let's see, what else do we need to do? We need to create some cabinets. So let's see. So what I normally do, I built these cabinets a long time ago, and so I just sort of carry them over. I just cut and paste them, from my previous designs, because the cabinets take a little time to build. The other thing let's do is let's change the floor. So again, just double click and we can change the materials. So we could adjust the color of the walls if we wanted to. We could adjust sort of what the moldings look like, what color those are. But in this case, I just want to adjust the floor finish. And I usually just make it concrete, so that masonry and stone, concrete, floors, just pick one. Boom. So now when we go back to our dollhouse view, now it looks more like it will with our gray Swiss Trax flooring. Cool. All right. So let's build a cabinet. Let's see. I don't even remember how I did. Oh yeah, cabinets are here. So I'm going to do a full height cabinet. And so I'm basing this off of Sabre cabinets. So step one is to go to Sabre cabinets, and then we want to look at sort of dimensions. So the structure. So I'll spend a lot of time, and I'll show you how I put this together. But I spent a lot of time. Now I don't even have to think about it. But I spent a lot of time sort of building and designing this sorry, I got all these pop-ups on here today. Building and designing and setting up, what is the array? What is that going to look like? What sort of structure are we going to attempt to build? And I'm working off of, let me go to, so we're going to build something that looks like this, which actually it's going to be pretty much identical to this. We're going to do the silver cabinets. We're going to do the 4 drawers, and then 6 drawers in the center, so we have plenty of tool storage. He's not going to do a TV, so we're going to do 4 uppers, and then the 2 large cabinets on the side, and then we're basically going to replicate this entire setup. I'm a big believer in why would we, I've spent hours and hours and hours figuring out what I wanted my garage to look like. So, in my opinion, it's pretty much perfect. So we're adapting it a little bit for Adam because he wants more sort of upper cabinets. But we'll basically what you do is just go in here and we need to know the dimensions. So I'm going to go back to Home Designer and we're going to do a base cabinet and get in here. So the first thing I would do is I'd look to see, okay, what does that cabinet actually look like? So I'd go back to my full camera view, look at the 3D or 2D, whatever you want to call it. So let's see, how did I do this? Base cabinet, oh yeah, it's a wall cabinet, not a full height cabinet. So let's delete that. And let's close this. And then let's do wall cabinet. Boom. Now what we'll do is we'll double click on it and we'll adjust the size of it. So go back to our dimensions was, we're going to do the wide storage. So we're going to do 47 1/4, 47.24, 80.71. 80.71 inches. What did I say it was? 47.24 inches. And then 23.62. 62 inches. Okay. Floor to bottom is 0 because we're going to put this right on the floor. Okay. So now let's sort of put this up against the wall. Let's take a look at it. Good. Looks similar to what the Sabre cabinet looks like, right? You just want to get an idea. For me, it's more important to get sort of the sizing to sort of figure out, dimensionally, how's it going to look in comparison to the ceiling, and how many cabinets can I fit. So then let's just change the color to something else. So you can change the materials, and we can do cabinet, select material. And you can make it aluminum or metal or whatever you want. I usually just work with colors. And so you can click on color palette and it sort of gives you a quick little view. And then we're just looking for something here. This looks pretty close, right? Drawers and panels, change it to the same color. What was that? Glamour. Let's just see what that looks like. Not bad. Good enough for now. Okay, so next step is we want to make our other cabinets. Now this design I actually had in black. We're not going to do black, we're going to do silver. And then I need to add these other 2 cabinets. So let me show you real quickly how to make the base. So we have the base cabinets, and clearly, they're not perfect, but because we're not going to do the ones with the drawer. We're going to do the ones that are just the full base cabinets. I actually like those better. Or maybe we'll do the drawers. I'm not sure. I gotta talk to Saber. So you can either do this base cabinet, two door base cabinet, two doors with a drawer. So maybe we'll do a. Actually, I take it back. We're doing all drawered base cabinets. But rather than in the software there's an option to make those, but I didn't feel like doing it. So it's a lot harder to make those cabinets than it is to make these. So let's do this. Let's go back here, go back to our cabinets. Let's do a base cabinet. Let's put it here. Let's adjust the size. And what was our base cabinet size? These were all base cabinet at 29.53. So all of these are the same dimensions, obviously, so that you can sort of put them together. So we got 29.53, 31 and a half. 31.5. I usually put these about 6 inches off the ground because we're going to mount them directly to the wall. Where the big cabinets I mount to the wall, these I'm going to mount sort of on the mount these a little differently. We mount these sort of floating. And then, what did I say, 29.53 inches, and then the depth was 23.62. 3.62. So now we'll put these in here. Let's get zoomed in so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, because we're going to do 6 of these. Control V. You know, with the lift, no, he's got plenty of depth. I'd rather just have the cabinets. Oops. See. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we bring them all together. Let's make sure they're all tight up against the wall. And then they sort of snap together. And I'm going to do another one of these, Control C, Control V for paste. Actually, sorry, I'm going to do this. I messed that up. Actually, just for time interest, I'm not going to change the color on all these. You guys know how to do that. You just go and change the color of the cabinets same way that. And I guess I didn't do the front of the doors anyway, so you can go and change the colors of these whatever you want. So let's create the upper cabinets. So you go back to the cabinet tool, base cabinet, wall cabinet. And these were, what are these? I think they're 31 and a half too. So here's our two-door upper, 29.53, 31 and a half. Oops, keep going to my email. 31.5, 29.53, floor to the bottom. I think 54 sounds reasonable. We'll go look at that. And were they 12? 13.78. 13.78. Control C that, and we'll just make a bunch of these. 6 of these, and then we'll drag them back in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Drag it up against the wall. Oops. The software only likes to move in the linear plane. It doesn't like to move. I guess I can just, oh shoot, we're going to do that. Oh no, I can't, because again I want the same cabinet. I don't want a basic cabinet. Let's just undo that. And one more. Oh, that one's not the right one. Get this out of the way just so I can fit it in there. Okay, so now we've got our cabinets. Pretty cool. And then I'm going to do some design work, figure out what are we going to do for an air compressor, and then you know, what are we going to do for the lift. So the cars, all you do is just over here in the library, and to get to the library browse, you go Tools. Wait, where is it? Oh yeah, a View Library Browser, and then the library pops up over here on the side, and your cars. Maybe not. Let's go back. Let's go to the core catalog. Vehicles. It's under bonus catalogs. What are vehicles? It's under recreation? No. Yes, cars are under the core catalog. Shapes, mechanical maybe? No. Forget where I found. There it is, sports car. So all you do is you take the car and you put it in there. And you can double click on it and make it whatever dimensions you want. So then you just go to Wikipedia or whatever and find the dimensions of the cars to put it in there. The other thing that I'm going to do in this garage is, I'm not going to save this because I'm going to continue to work off of this. Let's open, let me open one of my garages. So I made a, now this isn't perfect, but I made a mock of the Benpack lift. So let's get his car out of here. So these are the dimensions of the recessed lift. So let's rotate that. Let's move it into place. So we can kind of play with, where it sits. In the garage. fact, I never put it in this other one. Let's go back here. Let's get his car out of here. So rotate it, and bring it back. So you get the idea of where the gives you, in sort of internal dimensions and where, where the lift is. You can kind of play with positioning of the lift. So if we had the 240 on the lift, we would sit like right here. So we'd have room to walk. Actually, it would sit like this. So we'd have room to walk all the way around it. So we can kind of play with the position of the lift. Should we put it in the middle? Should we put it on this sort of the third bay? I'm inclined to say we would probably put it in the third bay. The advantage of doing it in the middle is that, again, you could just sort of leave the car in the middle and have room to walk, more room to walk around, I guess. I like the idea of putting it over here. There seems to be the most space there. And then all your tools, everything is over here, and so you sort of have full access. The other thing we could do is just sort of do a smaller cabinet array on this side, or keep this side open and do it over here. I like symmetry. I like the cabinet array to be right in the center. So I mean, that's just my opinion, but I'll work with him and we'll sort of figure out what makes sense. But that's basically how you do it. So you make the cars. You make the cabinets. I mean, shoot, however long this video is, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, probably 30. I'm always underestimating time. But so, basically what we did is we just built a garage with a lift, or at least the sort of the layout of the dimensions of where the lift is going to fit. So we know that the lift is going to be recessed in the floor. If I haven't showed you guys this, it was in one of Adam's videos, but we're going to do most likely this lift. See, everybody keeps suggesting 2 and 4 post lifts so that you can store cars and stuff, but these things are massive, and his garage just doesn't have enough space. So we can do this. We could certainly do, bring the rails up the wall. We could, sort of fix how the garage door is done. Get rid of the sort of center garage door opener and do a LiftMaster 8500. So we could certainly do this. So we might. We'll sort of talk through it, but we could do an on-wall LiftMaster. Actually, it looks better when I just go to liftmaster.com. Shoot, too many backs. So, how do they not have a picture of this stupid thing? Anyway, this goes on the wall, and how do you not have a picture on your freaking website? See, this is one of my pet peeves in this world, is companies don't know how to freaking sell their stuff. Gee whiz. Anyway, so we can get rid of the garage door opener on that's sort of hanging down the middle of the garage. Instead, we can mount it right to the wall. So let me just show you that. This is going to drive me nuts. Like this. So you can see you carry the, actually I didn't do it on this one, but you mount the, rather than having the, the big old thing in the middle of the garage like you normally would, you mount this puppy right to the wall so that you don't have to have the track down the middle. And then let's see if we can find a picture of ones that are carried closer to the ceiling. So this would come all the way up sort of toward the ceiling, and that way you don't have the rails in the way. So you don't have this thing, and then the rails go up and pull up close to the ceiling, so the garage door pulls right along the ceiling line. So then we could do a lift, see, like this, something like that. So now you have it out of the way. The problem is, in my opinion, with a 4-post or a 2-post lift is then you have this giant thing in the way. And I just, the garage, this garage just isn't big enough. So if we're just trying to jam cars in there, then, how do I keep going there? If we're just trying to jam cars in there, then we could certainly do a 4-post. So he might prefer that. But in my opinion, I'd rather do sort of an in-ground scissor lift that is cleaner looking. So we would do this thing. This is my favorite lift. And you set it up so that it's flush in the ground. Let's see, where does he have a picture of it? Like this. Tell me that's not cool. See, in a smaller garage like this, now 22 by 30 is not small, but we still may want to adjust the garage door to give more sort of overhead space, because this still comes up 70 inches. But now you just get the car up off the ground to change exhaust and wheels and tires and all of that stuff. Adam also told me he wants to do a tire changer, but then we'll need a tire balancer as well. So we'll work on that. So if you're doing wheel, we'd have to figure out where to put something like this, which is, I think, probably too big for his garage. Maybe we'll put one over at the warehouse or something, but we'll figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm going to be talking to him later. So anyway, that's the sort of real basic scoop on how to use Home Designer software and how I would sort of put together a garage. We're going to probably put some speakers here and maybe a subwoofer over here, so they have some audio. And here we'll set it up with Bluetooth, so you can play music when you're sort of working on cars. In the future, maybe we'll do a mini split air conditioner up here to be able to sort of turn on the AC. We'll see. We're going to start with flooring. We're going to start with cabinets. And then we'll sort of go from there, get his tools all set up, get everything organized. We'll be doing Kaizen foam in the drawers. Kaizen foam is that stuff that I have that sort of helps organize drawers. Let me see if I can. Let me go here. I think I can show you. Sure, I think I have one here somewhere reasonably close. Maybe not. Of course I don't. What the heck? I've already committed this far. I might as well go all the way and show you what Kaizen foam looks like in drawers. So it looks like this. And so you cut out until all your stuff fits flush in the drawers, nice and clean like this. So we'll be doing this as well. And I'm sure he'll have it looking pretty like this for a couple of days, and then he'll get it all jacked up. I think that's the last one. I have more pictures of that stuff, but anyway, you guys get the idea. So that's simple garage design 101, and that's sort of how we're going to sort of start with this garage in SwissJax Flooring. I'm going to do a follow-up video with pricing and a sort of a spreadsheet on what this stuff looks like. So we'll start with the flooring. We'll start with the cabinets. We're going to do fans, so we'll do fans in here, and then sort of project 2.0 will be lift, then maybe a mini split air conditioner. We'll kind of play that by ear. Also, as version 1.0, we'll also figure out something for the bikes, and then we're going to be doing some racks for all the 57 pairs of wheels that he has. So anyway, thanks for checking out the detail, and figured I'd show you guys how to use this software in case you ever wanted to use it yourself. And feel free to hit me up with comments below, and make sure to check out Adam's channel as well.